Hello, Virgo rising, and Virgo moon people. This is your weekly astrological and card forecast for the week of October 10th, 2016. And I wanted to go over something with you guys really quick, because I know a lot of folks are kind of commenting, oh, you didn't mention Mercury going into Libra last week during their weekly. Yeah, I didn't. I did not, because I mentioned it in the monthly horoscope that I do for October. And so I'm really trying not to make these horoscopes be like a cut and paste job from the monthly astrology. Unless there's like something big, like a big old retrograde or a full moon or something, I'm probably going to focus on more day-to-day things because it's a weekly basis. So if I don't mention something that's like kind of a sweeping, several month thing like that, it's probably in the monthly horoscopes. And you can check those out on the main channel page. There's always a playlist with those things there. So what is going on with the astrology this week? Well, as you may be well aware then, Mercury is in your second house of earned income for the next few weeks, and it's actually doing a lot of good for a lot of you Virgo people, speeding up developments in your finance sector. This could actually be bringing you faster cash and faster opportunities to find new work. If you're looking for a new job, hiring processes are going to be sped up. If you're trying to maybe gather more hours really quickly or take on more side jobs and side projects, absolutely wonderful. And funny enough, a lot of this financial energy is getting really strong this week, especially on Tuesday, the 11th, when Mercury comes in conjunction with Jupiter, connecting with Jupiter in this earned income sector. And we've definitely got a lot of small projects kind of becoming a big payoff for you. Mercury tends to work in small, I'll put it that way. It's like every little bit counts, it all adds up. And when we have Mercury and Jupiter coming together, we've got a lot of easy small things that generate a lot of good income. And this would be a great time to be signing yourself up for that, especially if you're looking for just like quick little ways to make a lot of cash. For those of you looking for a new job, Mercury and Jupiter coming together is not going to bring you a small, employment opportunity. Far from it. What it's going to do is it's actually going to blow up what you might have thought was only going to give you so much into something bigger. This could be a bigger salary. If you thought maybe you were only going in for so many hours, it's going to be, offering you more hours. So it's kind of giving you more than you asked for with this kind of connection. On Thursday, we've got Mercury in the earned income sector forming a rather tense square to Mars in your fifth house of love and romance. And, when Mercury and Mars come together, there can be some serious issues with, I guess you could say, too much in the case of oversharing, or in this case, possibly overspending. And it may show that a child, or maybe even a pet project of yours, is starting to become, whatever's going on with that, there's an expense that could come up, or a pressure to spend more money than you should regarding this issue. Maybe a child has a school expense, or again, maybe a pet project of yours is requiring more of a time and money investment than you should put in. This could also indicate, some clashes with a partner about how much time we do and don't have available, with them due to this recent big growth spurt with work and with money. And the thing about squares that you got to understand is there's always a win-win. There's always a way to please all priorities with a square. But during Thursday, people might not be interested in finding the win-win. Sometimes Mars is more about just the venting and getting it off the chest, and we'll solve it maybe hopefully someday. So let that energy kind of come and go. Don't try and settle this conflict all in one night. This probably will actually end up in a way that's mutually beneficial for all ways involved, but if we try to kind of rush it to, to the affirmation and satisfactory conclusion all in one night, it won't, okay? So just kind of pay attention to how to handle that Thursday, Friday energy there. So that is your astrology for the week. What is going on with your tarot? What's going on with your cards? Well, for your non-tarot, for your oracle, for your spiritual advice, we do have the card of the Elf Queen, which absolutely speaks to what we were just talking about. Because the Elf Queen always talks about the burden of true leadership. Okay, the burden of true leadership and the understanding that sometimes being a leader means being unpopular. Sometimes being a leader means also doing way more than a boss would. Okay, because the elf queen is not a boss. She is a leader. And being a leader means you have to be able to take into account everybody's needs, not just the project, and certainly not just yours. A good leader knows when everyone's birthday is, or what people are allergic to and what people's needs are and what they can, they might not be able to meet all those needs, but at least they're informed. At least they're not just ignorant or complacent about it. But this week, sometimes being captain of the ship can be a bit of a lonely job, and doing what's right for the many might not be so great for the few. And that might make us unpopular sometimes, but, sometimes the logic outweighs the sentimental. For your Earth sector, when it comes to your work and finances, we do have the Empress card upright. Beautiful card for money, and why not? Again, we saw that Mercury-Jupiter connection a minute ago. And with the Empress, we're talking about a long-term shift in your financial, I guess you could say, in your financial routine for the better. Okay, so this is the week that starts it all, where we are bringing home more, whether we're bringing home more on a monthly basis or on a weekly basis, depends on the type of job that you do. But with the Empress card upright, we are starting a brand new trend. The Empress can also talk about a huge payoff coming your way this week. One of the nice things about the Empress is that it does also discuss, I guess you could say, an extra for, extra pay for a job well done that you didn't expect to get that extra pay on. It could be surprise bonuses. Something is getting set in stone where we have you on being the recipient to better financial opportunities after this week and during this week because of that Empress card. Because the Empress is the card of longevity, not just abundance. And it's definitely going to be working on that longevity side more so for you. For your communications with air, we do have the Page of Swords inverted. This card can talk about, possibility of a clash that needs to happen with a friend or a relative or possibly even a group of them. The Page of Swords inverted can often show up here where people who are less than informed are acting out based on conjecture, okay? And we all know what conjecture is if we've seen the U.S. political climate. And I feel like what's happening this week is that it's going to be up to you, Virgo, to learn how to quell inflammatory conjecture among your loved ones. People fighting over things they don't fully understand, people kind of picking and choosing what they think is true and not true. And again, a lot of it has to do with people treating a rumor mill like a pick and mix. But the thing is that with the Page of Swords inverted, I don't think anyone's outright attacking you, but you are going to have to step in as that very unpopular voice of reason. Because some people don't want to hear practical. They want to hear they're right. They want the affirmation, validation, and confirmation to make their little emotions feel better. But sometimes what it takes to make their emotions feel better means doing all the wrong things. So, got to get ready for that. For your challenge this week with fire, we do have the Six of Pentacles upright. This card is indicating here that while you are, doing so well for yourself, the Six of Pentacles can also indicate a need to understand where it is right to be charitable and kind. All right. Now, I did say some things that, a person who wasn't listening might take that, the wrong context, but I think, it might sound really harsh. There is a way to balance fairness, to be good and just at the same time with this challenge card. So, yes, maybe rhetorically you're going to have to beat somebody's argument within an inch of its life to make sure that people understand what's going on. But with the Six of Pentacles, your challenge is to make sure that we also nurse that situation back to health. Like, we don't just leave it there. It's all about making sure that you, again, are that good leader. How do we make sure people stay comfortable while also getting rid of the problem? The Six of Pentacles can also indicate a need to pay attention to where you could also use some backup. And don't be afraid to ask for backup, especially from people who you already know are all too willing to step in. For your emotions with water and your romantic life, we do have the Moon card upright. And this card can indicate not to pay attention too much to, I guess you could say to first impressions if you're single and looking, okay? because first impressions will be deceiving, because sometimes the moon card can kind of mess with our heads. It'll show everything in the wrong light. And again, that means that we don't want to be seduced by a really good first impression that has nothing to follow, and we don't want to dismiss a bad first impression that was maybe just an off day. This actually does look like we may actually be seeing a couple of people this week, and I'm not surprised. We've got Mars in your 5th house of love and romance, so, you know, single Virgo people are going to be meeting more and more and more, but you know, with the moon card, again, it's very important to pay attention to where, you know, our first impression might not be our intuition working. For those of you who are currently coupled, again, with the moon card upright, pay attention to where your partner's actions are not true to the real situation they're going through. They may be acting like everything's fine when on the inside they may not be fine, or they may actually be just sort of kind of taking on a new identity. Now, sometimes that happens. We get into little phases and things like that, you know, where we're trying a new hobby or a new spirituality or a new artsy thing. And, you know, it's like we all kind of change our whole disposition while we get settled in to kind of see if that works. If it's just an experimental thing, don't worry about it. But if they are trying to cover up pain, frustration, or anything that they're not articulating, it's encouraging to encourage them to share. So that is your forecast, Virgo. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. You know I appreciate it. And of course, if you'd like to get a session, you can always follow the links below or go to integrativemysticism.com.